Hello guys, Loading Gears here. Welcome to my Metal Gear Solid Story Roundup, where I try to retell the story of the main Metal Gear games in chronological order, and hopefully I'll get to the ones leading up to the Phantom Pain before it comes out, but probably not. Yeah, considering I have 2 days before the game comes out, and I'm starting on Portable Ops now, I'm not gonna do it. You know, I'm not even gonna say that I'm probably not gonna do it. It's not gonna be possible. However, I'm gonna keep putting out these videos after the game comes out because I know that at least one person is watching them in order to get the story better, and well, that's enough for me to keep going. Anyways, in this episode, we will begin exploring Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops. Now, this game probably won't take very long because Hideo Kojima himself, the mastermind behind Metal Gear, didn't direct the game or even have as much involvement in it as he normally does, which is a lot. So as a result, he himself has said that only some elements of Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops is canon. So I'll try to just get the main points that I believe pass over to the other games down. Alrighty. Portable Ops is based in 1970, 6 years after the events of Snake Eater. Fox, Snake's former unit, cuts its ties with the CIA and goes rogue. Snake, who is no longer part of Fox, is captured and interrogated by one of Fox's members, Lieutenant Cunningham, in the San Jeronimo Peninsula. Fox, it seems, was after the other half of the Philosopher's legacy. They had already acquired the half that the Soviet Union kept, and believed that Snake stole the other half. Which is interesting, considering that we heard Ocelot say that the CIA has half of the legacy, and the other half was with the Soviets. Huh. Anyways, afterwards, Snake manages to escape along with a fellow prisoner, Roy Campbell. Snake attempts to contact his former unit, but is told by Sigint and paramedic that both him and Zero were being accused of instigating the Fox Rebellion and for stealing a secret weapon that the government had. The only way to prove their innocence was to find the leader of the rebellion. The Fox unit, bringing members of the Red Army that were stationed in the San Jeronimo Peninsula under their control, would make things difficult for the lone soldier, Snake. So Sigint suggested that he try to recruit the soldiers to his side. Snake later finds out that Fox was planning on using the aforementioned stolen nuclear weapon against Russia. Campbell points out that some soldiers may have negative thoughts about their leaders and suggests Snake use this as a way to recruit these soldiers. And so he did. He recruited a Soviet soldier named Jonathan, which doesn't seem like a very Russian name, but it's okay. He recruited him by knocking him out and dragging him to a truck. After he tried to escape, Snake pinned him down and told him that he was just a soldier, not American or with Fox. He was just trying to stop Fox's rebellion, whose leader, by the way, Campbell revealed to be a man named Gene. So Fox is under the leadership of a man named Gene. John laughed at their offer to join them and revealed that the Soviets who joined Gene did so because they felt betrayed by their country. Gene didn't force them. Gene wanted to create a nation of soldiers where they would be given justice as soldiers. After an insightful speech inspired by the boss's sacrifice,
the meaning of justice can change from one day to the next. A professional soldier never brings justice into the mission. The only ones who need a reason to fight are the ones who fight for a living. That's what my mentor told me. Politics are fickle. They change with the times. So long as we remain loyal to our countries, soldiers like us need nothing to believe in. She died out of loyalty. Not to justice, not to her country, to herself, for the mission.
In which John realizes Snake was the big boss that defeated Volgin, Jonathan decided to join Big Boss, who continued to go by that name, Snake. He never took on the name Big Boss because he didn't think he was worthy of it. Afterwards, on the way to the hospital, Snake saw an event unfold in which a soldier of Gene caused the structure they were constructing to collapse, and Gene gently forgave him and sent him to the hospital, telling him that the age of using soldiers as a tool was over. This is important because it shows that Gene really he really used this feeling of caring about the soldiers more than tools in order to captivate the soldiers into joining him. Did I use the word captivate there right? Anyways, when Snake got to the hospital, he saw a young soldier he thought he recognized inside some kind of stasis chamber. Snake then encountered a medic who explained that the young soldier was the perfect soldier, named Null, who was incapable of emotion or doubt, thanks to his memory being erased after every mission. It wouldn't be after a very long time that Snake would finally fight this perfect soldier. And after said fight, Snake remained alive. Null seemed distressed about the fact that Snake was still alive, claiming that no man had ever faced him and survived. At this point, Null started screaming, and Snake remembered that he had indeed met him before. Snake, however, is then knocked unconscious before he can get into describing where he met him. Kimball informed the men Snake had recruited up to this point, his own personal little army, that Snake had been caught. After interrogating some enemy soldiers, Snake's army figures out his whereabouts. Meanwhile, Jean cuts Snake's interrogation short in order to reveal... Why do bad guys always do this? Anyways, he revealed to Snake that the hijacking of the secret weapon, which was now revealed to be a prototype Metal Gear, like the one Grennan was researching, remember the giant tank with 2 legs? Anyways, the hijacking of that Metal Gear was all part of the CIA's plan. Having succeeded in deploying MIRVs in battle, which are multi-independently targeted vehicles, essentially a ballistic missile with multiple warheads. Being successful in deploying MIRVs, America was going to gain military dominance over the world, which would diminish the CIA's importance. So the CIA orchestrated the hijacking of Metal Gear so that the Soviet Union would have a weapon far superior than a MIRV, and the age of deterrence and spies would continue. They also told Fox to pretend to defect to the Soviet Union. This is very similar to what the boss described the philosophers wanted, a constant, self-replicating age of war. Jean then began to explain the Successor Project, which is what had created him as a leader, not him physically, as far as I'm concerned. The Successor Project was a project made to build not the perfect soldier, but the perfect leader. One that would have, quote-unquote,
the skills to wage war, the aptitude for strategy, the endurance to return from battle alive, and the charisma to overwhelm and master the hearts of soldiers.
Essentially, they wanted to create the boss, which is specifically why they chose her as a model. In these regards, Jean said that they were like brothers, since Snake had similar qualities as a result of training under the boss for so long. Afterwards, Jean had a conversation with Ocelot. Yeah, I didn't think you'd hear about him again, did you? Well, you did. And you will. Again and again. The conversation revealed that they were both working together towards a greater goal. Afterwards, Null appeared in pursuit of Snake and asked Jean where Snake was. Jean took down Null and ordered to have him taken back to his chamber and have his memory wiped again. The fact that Null remembered Snake even after his memory was wiped impressed Jean. Snake was later rescued by members of his small army, including Jonathan, whom, after being asked why they cared for Snake so much, said that he was their boss. Snake was their boss, and that all the men needed him. This just starts to show how Snake also has quite a charismatic, I guess you can say, ability to, quote-unquote, captivate the hearts of soldiers. Snake and his men are later ambushed by Cunningham, who asks Snake again where the legacy is, and that he knows he has it because the Pentagon told him so. So the Pentagon told Cunningham that Snake has the legacy. But apparently he wasn't supposed to say that. It was just a slip of the tongue. He then attempts to make Snake talk by shooting at his men, but Snake, along with any surviving men, managed to escape. Later, Snake encounters Jean again. Jean lets slip the fact that Ocelot had something to do with all of this, and Snake asks him what what hand Ocelot had to play in all of this, but he didn't go into detail. Snake then fights and destroys Metal Gear, which is revealed to have been a test model and not the real thing. Demoralized by the destruction of Metal Gear, Gene's men start to question him and their mission. Gene then incited paranoia amongst his own men by asking them if they're certain that their comrades would never turn against them, telling them that there is indeed an enemy amongst them, and then causing one of the soldiers to shoot by throwing a knife at him, at which point a riot broke out and all the soldiers started shooting at each other. Right as the bullet was about to hit Snake, Jonathan jumps in the way and is killed. Snake yells in anguish, cursing Gene for the soldiers that for killing the soldiers that trusted him, using them as tools. So not only was Snake, for lack of better words, upset about Jonathan's death, but he was distressed by how Gene used his soldiers, the soldiers that trusted him to care for them, as tools. The same thing that he said he would not do to them. Sometime later, Snake encounters Null again, at which point he reveals to the confused Null that he remembers where he met him. Snake had met Null 4 years ago in Mozambique. There, Null was fighting as a child soldier who used his innocent look of a young boy to catch soldiers off guard and kill them. Both enemy and allies referred to him as Frank Yeager, the Frank Hunter. After struggling to come to grips with his former self, Null came to the conclusion that he needed no name, and after he kills Snake, he can go back to simply being Null. A fight ensues, and after Snake defeats him, Null remembers who he is, or who he was, and took back his identity as Frank. He remembered that even back then, he was used as a tool, and that Snake defeated him and watched over him. Snake apologized since he thought he would be safe in the rehab center he had placed Frank in 4 years ago, but apparently the philosophers took him for the Perfect Soldier project. Frank then joins Snake as part of his army, or at least tells him that he'll be there if he needs him. Snake later confronts Cunningham, who revealed to Snake... God, they just keep doing this. Cunningham revealed to Snake that he is neither working for the CIA or for Gene, but for the Department of Defense. Essentially, his and the Department of Defense's plan was exactly the same as the CIA's, except they told Cunningham to abduct Snake in order to put a stop to Gene's plans, as they knew the legendary Big Boss would be able to manage to take it all on his own. Then they were actually planning on starting a nuclear war, except that the launch would be blamed on the now rogue Fox, not on America. So instead of the CIA gaining back their power, the American military would. Jeez, I guess America needs to get their shit together just as much as Russia. And this explains why Cunningham thought that Snake had the legacy, because Snake was part of the CIA. And the CIA had the legacy, and I guess they didn't inform the rest of the American government. Cunningham then tried to convince Snake to go back to simply pretty much leave everything behind and go back to America, and that Snake would be taken in as a hero once again. When Snake refused, Cunningham asked him if he's fighting for the Soviet soldiers. He's asking him what he's fighting for. And if it was for the Soviet soldiers, he told him that it was pathetic. Snake then says that he's fighting for himself and that he would refuse to live the way the boss did. Snake finally meets up with Gene, who informs him, here we go. He informs him that he knew everything about Cunningham and the Department of Defense's plans. Well, for fuck's sake, these bad guys just know everything that's happening, don't they? He let it all happen in order to achieve his real goal. He was planning on launching a nuke at Washington, Virginia, the headquarters of the philosophers. His plan was to free the world from the philosophers and create a new world order. One where he would be in control through an underground nation of mercenaries. One that would act from the shadows with a superior breed of soldiers, and that this organization would be called Army's Heaven. Snake disagreed with his plans and said that this was no heaven for soldiers, but a place where they would just be used as tools once again. Gene said that individuals don't matter and that those without a will must be given one by following the teachings of a superior will. They must devote everything they have into that higher cause, just like the boss did. Snake tells him that he's not worthy of speaking the boss's name, at which point Gene tells him the truth of what happened with the boss. Gene revealed that Vulcan did not destroy Sokolov's research facility out of his own will. Instead, it was all a strategy planned out by the CIA in order to dispose of the boss. So in other words, the disposal of the boss was part of the CIA's objective all along. For some reason, they wanted to get rid of the boss. After a fight, Gene falls down surprised at his defeat. He said that perhaps something he called soldier genes were in fact real, and that Snake is a true successor. Gene then gives Snake a microfilm containing data on the equipment, personnel, and funding for Army's Heaven. When Snake asks him why he was giving him this, Gene said that he would be glad he has it someday, that it was their fate. Then he died. Snake finds Metal Gear being launched and tries to shoot it down with an RPG. After an unsuccessful shot at it, he sees that all his men are around him trying to shoot it down along with him. After ordering them to leave before they get killed, they tell Snake that he risked his life for Russia, so now they're going to help America, proving that they're no longer loyal to Russia but now loyal to Big Boss himself. In the end, they manage to shoot down Metal Gear. Later, a scene is shown where the DCI, the director of the CIA, is heading towards a bunker with two bodyguards. A man by the name of Adam, wink wink, approaches them. The DCI recalls this man to be none other than Ocelot himself. Ocelot tells him that there are nukes headed to America in 30 minutes, I guess not realizing that Snake has shot Metal Gear down. The DCI says that he's aware, but that he needs to recover documents regarding the philosophers, namely the half of the philosopher's legacy they were looking for. So the CIA was indeed hiding the philosopher's legacy from the rest of the American government, which is why Cunningham believed that Snake had it even after they got the half from the Soviets. He states that even if America is destroyed, at least with that money the philosophers can be reborn, which is what we thought Ocelot wanted at the end of Metal Gear Solid 3. Remember, he said with this money the philosophers will be revived. However, Ocelot then shoots the DCI's bodyguards. After being questioned if he's betraying the philosophers, Ocelot replies,
"Betray? No, I'm not going to betray them. I'm going to end them. Then we'll take back what you stole from us. We will carry on the spirit of the true patriot."
The true patriot?
It's all part of our plan to make the world she envisioned a reality. And so, I've come for the other half of the legacy.
So, Ocelot is actually a quadruple spy. Man, he's really fucking good at his job. After arriving in America, Snake reveals to Campbell that he doesn't feel truly alive unless he's in the battlefield, and that he must find a reason to fight. He must pass down what had been handed to him. After this, Snake forms the Foxhound unit in order to replace the Fox unit. After the credits, you hear Ocelot make a phone call. This happens a lot. He makes a phone call, and he talks to a mysterious man who is revealed to have fed Ocelot information about how to go about killing the DCI to retrieve the legacy. It is revealed that the mysterious man is actually Major Zero, and that he is planning on building an organization called the Patriots in order to fulfill the vision the boss had of the world, which implies that Snake did indeed tell him about the truth of the boss. Ocelot said that he would only join the Patriots if they would recruit Snake, and the game ends there. I know that I wasn't quite as enthusiastic or kind of more informative about this game as I was with the other ones, and that's for many reasons. One, like I said, A lot of the smaller details in this game actually don't matter. Because Kojima, like I said before, Kojima himself said that it's really the main plot points of this game that follow the story. Not just that, but I honestly didn't play the game. I've never owned a PSP, and this game only existed on the PSP. So everything I know is from watching Let's Plays and from from watching Let's Plays and from reading the Wikipedia. So I wasn't quite as deeply involved in the story like I was with Snake Eater, which, like I said before, is my absolute favorite game in the story. In the next episodes, I will begin Peace Walker, which is a game that ends only a few months before Ground Zeroes, which is essentially the first mission of the Phantom Pain. In other words, the end of that game will connect directly to the beginning of Phantom Pain. So for anyone that hadn't played the other games and was confused as fuck as to who Paz was, who Chico was, and whatever else, Ground Zeroes, Peace Walker pretty much explains all of that, and that's the game I'm coming to next. So thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Peace.